What is up, everybody? Happy New Year, and welcome to the 2025 Lemax Spooky Town preview with the Village Idiots. It's crazy that it is here already. It feels like we were just doing the last one of these not that long ago. Lemax put all the pieces up on the website. We are going to roll through that, and we're going to have an hour discussion here of a lot of stuff. If you're joining us live, if you put your question in the chat, we're going to try and get to some of these kind of as we go along. And with that said, here we'll get right into it in just a moment. The Village Idiots. We'll start here. Ryan, you want to introduce yourself for folks who haven't, who aren't familiar with you?
Yeah, sure. Ryan from Tiny Villages by HN or HuntersNation.com, if you prefer. Happy New Year, everyone. Just so you know, everything you're going to see tonight is available for pre-order through us, as well as the new Department 56 stuff that you'll see a different video with Doug later on. So find us on Facebook at Tiny Villages by HN and send us a message through Messenger, and we'll get you set up for the pre-order.
Landon, how about you? You want to introduce yourself?
What's up, guys? It's Landon at Halloween Villages. It's been a while since I've been on camera, but it's great to see y'all again. Again, it's crazy that we're already doing the live stream. Just kind of, like you said, Doug, kind of feels like we just did the last one a few days ago. But regardless, Spooky Town release is always exciting, and I'm excited to talk about it with y'all.
Cool. Kelly, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Kelly, and I'm an avid Spooky Town collector and village builder. I love all displays from like small vignettes that have like 2 or 3 buildings to like room-filling displays with all kinds of like stuff going on. I actually wanted to shout out my son, Sully, who is watching tonight. He's never watched one of these before, so I wanted to say hi to him. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Sully.
Sully.
All right. Well, I guess we can kind of get into it here in a moment. Let's start off. I guess we're going to start with buildings. Then we're going to do some accessory stuff. And then Lemax is doing some gift sets. We're going to be doing a little bit of discussion with that and keep it structured that way. So if you have a free form discussion where we kind of go all over the place. So, all right. I guess with that, let's dive into the Lemax website here. Is there a building, Landon? Do you want to start with one of the big ones? I'll give you the dealer's choice here on which one you want to go with.
Let's talk about the alien building.
All right. Good choice here. And I'm just rolling around here on the Lemax website. It's how we're going to do it. It's easiest. They have all the stuff that's up here. You want to let's see what it looks like animated here, so you guys folks know. Let's do that, and then we'll talk about it here.
Do aliens exist, and are they among us? The proof is here, no need to discuss. Slimy and green, with a death ray gun. We just heard that the Air and Space Novelties Hangar Museum has been overrun.
Must signal the others before these humans capture me.
This just in, forget everything that has been said. One shot, and you become one of the undead.
Hey guys, I got one. What do we do now? I don't know. Hey guys, I see another one in the tower.
Do aliens exist, and are they...
All right, I think that's good there. They're stepping up their videos too, which is nice. So, Landon, started off here. And sorry if the sound is choppy on the video there, guys. It's with the streaming of those Lemax videos into it. So, Landon, anyways, let's talk about it here. What do you think about it?
Yeah, so, I mean, this is a first, I think, for Lemax Spooky Town. I don't think they've ever done an alien piece before. I think they maybe have had some, like trick-or-treater accessories where they're dressed as aliens. But as far as like a full dedicated building to aliens, to my knowledge, this is the first one. And it's kind of shocking to me, actually, that it's taken so long for us to get something like this, because aliens, they're big in Halloween, they're big in horror. So I just kind of find that surprising. And I think this one, for the most part, is pretty cool. I think my favorite detail on it is the tent that has the silhouettes that change. The animation's cool on it. I dig the flying saucers that fly around. I really hope that Lemax, with this, they kind of do what they did with the Wasteland Pub, where they release some buildings and accessories around it, because right now this building's kind of one of its kind, where there's not a whole lot that really goes with it. Something else that I think is cool, and Kelly, you mentioned this when you first saw it, but The whole building kind of takes place in the desert, which, you know, kind of give it that Area 51 vibe. So no, I think it's a pretty cool piece.
Kelly, what do you think about this?
Landon, I love that you are. I just wanted to comment on something you just said. I actually thought it really went with some of those nuclear fallout buildings, because this is like a mashup of aliens and there's nuclear, like the zombies are like because of a nuclear explosion or something has gone awry. But I agree with everything you were saying. I love the fact that it's in the desert. Those saguaro cactus is such a unique detail, and there's no other buildings that have that detail. And you know, we have been wanting that alien piece for people who are like the alien collectors, like the people that like aliens, didn't have anything. They didn't have a place to, you know, to be in Spooky Town. So the favorite bits, it's actually funny that I never noticed. I had watched that video, but I never noticed the silhouettes in the tent, and I thought that was, I didn't until just tonight, and I thought that was what incredible. The lighting is a triumph on this piece. The crashed UFO in the or the spaceship in on the billboard there, and the UFOs flying around, incredible. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting like total like 1950s campy horror movie vibes from this. Like this is, I love that kind of vibe. It is exciting to have, you know, the alien. It would be exciting to build just a vignette for this piece alone.
Yeah, I hope they keep going in the theme there. Just real quick here before Ryan. I like how the spinning saucers, you know, normally it's like bats or something like that. It's cool that they have the saucers up there spinning. There's a lot of stuff going on with it. Ryan, what do you think on this? And if you have pricing, I know you got pricing on some of these pieces. Feel free to share it.
Yeah, I do. This one's $129.99, so $130. It's on the higher end of the list this year for prices. I love it too, and I think you nailed it, Kelly. It kind of gives me the Mars Attacks kind of vibe, which was a campy throwback to the 50s, you know, alien invasion movies. And like the detail on this, a lot of people, they get these buildings and they do a lot of dry brushing on them to make them look a little better, make them look a little less cheap. This one's already done. It already has that kind of detailing to it. And I agree with Landon. The tent with the kind of silhouettes on there kind of reminds me of the Rest in Peace mausoleum with the skulls in the roof. It's a nice throwback, you know, detail. Very cool building.
It's definitely, I mean, it's one of the most unique buildings they've done. Again, this is like one of the only themes that Lemax hasn't really done. I feel like I might be forgetting something, but Jay says it could go with Wasteland Pub. Yeah, it would kind of work with that whole desert motif. A lot of animation on it, I guess, is the only thing. Maybe watch out for it. Looks like there's a lot of points of animation on it, but the lighting on it is solid. I think that the big thing with this is just, can Lemax follow it up with one or two? It'd be nice if they would do just a couple, so, you know, folks that they want to have stuff that matches, that they would do. That's kind of the issue with Wasteland Pub at once. I'm also shocked kind of that this isn't a Michaels exclusive, because I don't know, this just looks like it would totally be launched as a Michaels exclusive. So with that here, guys, I know we spent a minute on it here, and if anybody has more questions or whatever about it, we can talk about it. I guess I also, one last thing, and shout out to my wife if she's watching. I don't know if she is or not, but we love Kings Island, and it reminds me of Area 52, the area where the Orion coaster and Flight of Fear or whatever. This totally looks like that whole theme for that area. I love Kings Island. Let's go here let's go to the castle next, medieval castle, and we're going to go wedding party after that. I'm not going to pull up the video. It sounds like the video was causing issues with some folks. So let's go. I guess I've got some thoughts on this one, but Ryan, let's start with you. Then I'll chime in here and we'll kind of go down the line. Do you have pricing and all that on this one?
Yeah, this is $119.99, $120. It's kind of like a modern version to me of the Black Castle, which obviously is like one of the holy grails of the Spooky Town line, and the same kind of motion with the drawbridge. It does add a little bit of moat into it. The coloring is a lot more unique than some of the past ones. You know, it adds the pinks and blues into it. So it's a more like I don't want to say a mystical kind of piece than some of the other darker stuff they did, but very cool looking. They threw a lot of stuff at it, you know, and it really works well.
This is the one that I'm the most interested in this year because I love castles. There's kind of a lot of stuff on it to where it's almost overkill, I guess, if I wanted to be really critical of it, because I like the Department 56 Castle Blackstone is one of my favorite pieces. Like that's a super spooky. It's a castle, but I could almost see this being like a carnival, or not carnival, but like an amusement park setup, because it's kind of so over the top. And a little bit of like with the skeleton and everything, I think of like a Little Castle Grayskull and like He-Man. I mean, it's not He-Man, obviously. It's got like the actual royal guy down there, the king or whatever, coming up the drawbridge and like a serpent. But I really like this. I think it's cool. It's going to go in my my collection, where I'm starting to collect some of the castle pieces. So I really dig that. Landon, what do you have on this one?
I'd say this is also one of my favorite pieces of the year. I'm a sucker for kind of the door animation of people coming in and out of doors or whatever. So I really like the addition of that for the Skeleton King that comes in and out.
Mm-hmm.
I really like, and if you see in the video here, but the dragon or the serpent actually has a red light that pulsates inside of it. I think that's a really great touch. Some people mentioned this in the Patreon, though. This is very much like you mentioned, like a carnival type piece, to where it's not super macabre. I think I would have preferred this if it was like a more gothic, traditional style castle, maybe with like you remember the castle on Spooky Hill where instead of a Skeleton King was a Grim Reaper coming out?
Yeah.
I guess maybe I would have preferred that, but still, I think it's a really cool piece, and it'll make for a good centerpiece if you have a medieval section.
I like the size of this, because some of those old Spooky Town castles were pretty small. And even like the Department 56 one that I have from a couple of years ago, it's pretty small. Castle Blackstone's gigantic, but some of the other ones are smaller. Kelly, what were you going to add to this? Any thoughts on this one?
It's just so delightfully 70s, early 80s. I could see this airbrush on the side of one of those rad panel vans that like burns out at green lights. Like
like a heavy metal van. Yeah.
Yes. I actually did really think like, oh, this is He-Man vibes right here. It's not my theme, but I do enjoy what it's bringing to the table. It is also like very high in the camp factor, which I like a lot. So,
it's funny. I really liked this when I saw it, and then I kind of was tempering myself, but now we're talking about it, and I'm really happy with it again because of the wackiness. And as a side note, I in the last year started collecting Lego castle stuff. I've got a pretty big permanent Lego castle scene. I'll have to show you guys sometime. And so I'm on a big like castle kick. If it's castle or wizards or anything, I'm down with it. So I'm really excited for this to be here. And again, it's kind of surprising this isn't a Michaels piece. I feel like that it would. I guess this actually a good quick interjection here, because people when they saw this collection like, well, where's the carnival or where's the amusement park piece? That's almost certainly got to be a Michaels exclusive. Like I can't imagine Lemax isn't going to do one. I would be shocked if that's not. So I would just get our ride as a Michaels exclusive. And for those that are watching that don't know, it's early March, typically March. It's springtime. Normally we'll see the Michael stuff, shout out. Hey, South of Sanity. Hey, shout out to you there. Super chat. Much appreciated here. I'll give him a shout here. Great candle channel too. He loves talking Halloween candles. Thank you. Sorry, I haven't been talking Halloween candles in a while. I kind of just haven't been burning them. But big thank you for that. I guess Kelly, how about you call the next one here? Where are we going to go? Let me back up here. Sorry.
Yeah, let's do the wedding party.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm not going to play the video because when I played the video a little bit ago, that caused the stream to go berserk, which is a shame because this one, if you've not seen the soundtrack for it, that's kind of the standout. So Kelly, you can talk about that a little. I just wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to mention the music first on this because it does sound like the song is like they hired it out. They actually hired someone to make a song for this, which was nice, which was a cool touch. I'm a sucker for anything skeleton themed. I love that they're not just monsters milling around. It's all skeletons. It's overall a very beautiful piece, and that's odd to say about it. But I mean, it is, it's Halloween, but it is truly a beautiful piece. Like the windows in the back, giving the illusion of a graveyard path back there. It's very eerie. It sets the tone of this piece. It's beautiful. my only gripe, I mean, you would like see this maybe like it kind of New Orleans vibes a little bit in this piece. My only gripe is that I would like to see a chandelier, an actual chandelier. I don't know how they would suspend it instead of a sticker. And I don't like the lights that are projecting, that are lighting the piece. They look like outdoor lights. They don't fit this piece because it's truly like elegant. And those are like street lamps, that are on a dirt road or something. So that's my only gripe about this. Well, that's not true. Also, it's hard. It would be hard to place this in like a walk around display because the back, there's nothing going on there. It's just a flat piece of plastic, which did surprise me.
Yeah, a couple comments here. What's up, Christina? Yeah, she total Haunted Mansion vibe. It's a lot of that. Couple people saying that. Catherine here also. It's got presence on the side. She's right. I actually didn't even notice that. They're on the back left. You can see it. It looks like they look rotted. The presence there. That's an interesting observation. So I mean, this is kind of to me, this is like its own thing. Like you'd almost just put this like a table piece that would go by itself. I don't know that it really. I mean, yeah, you could put it with like the jazz club or some other stuff. But if you're hardcore about your theming, it would be kind of weird to just have a dance floor out in the middle of, out in the middle of nowhere. But it's a very cool piece, and again, the soundtrack on it is like a huge step up. Like it actually sounds like a professional track, and I don't know. I'm not sure what that is, like who recorded it or whatever, but it's pretty cool like that. Landon, were you going to add up anything with this?
Sure. So, yeah, like Kelly, I love anything skeleton. So obviously I'm a big fan of this. I got to say, whenever I saw it, I thought it was going to be a little more understated, I guess. But when you see the piece rolling and you see the lights and the soundtrack and the people dancing, it's a pretty spectacular piece, even though it doesn't look like it's very big. I think this could go actually with a myriad of things. Like I think you could. First thing I thought of whenever I saw this was I thought of the symphony from actually a while ago now. Which is probably what I'm going to pair it with. Of course, the Monsters Ball I think is another one because those pieces are kind of hard to theme, and I know they've had issues theming those pieces, but I think this one would look nice next to them. So, yeah, I'm really impressed with this one. And, yeah, the soundtrack is killer.
This is real fast, Bread Guy. And what's up, Bread Guy? Long time commenter here. My question on this one, is it inside a building or outside? Park lamps and banners. Yeah, I mean, to me, it looks like I think this is implied to be inside, just kind of an inside scene. That's what I would read, read into it. Shout out also Taco Loco. Thank you for the subscription there. Trying to get to
possum. Here. The picture was on a possum. I love opossums.
Oh yeah. Ryan, do you have pricing on this one?
Yeah, this one's $85.
Okay.
And I agree with Kelly. It should have been closed in count Symphony of Screams with that half kind of dome around it. That would have been perfect for hang a chandelier or interior lighting as opposed to the same lamps they use in every carnival ride, which is an outdoor
Yep, the external.
Yeah.
We had
best soundtrack they've ever had. So
I mean, as far as like a soundtrack that there's actually like, I like the ambient ones best, but as far as like the real soundtrack, like where people are going to be talking or whatever, yeah, it's probably like it's a good one. Let's move on here. And there's a good one here. We'll do the art one in just a moment here, but let's where is Nightmare Video? Let me scan through here. Ryan, we're going to do this one and then the art supply building next. So Ryan, why don't you start with this one? This one, I think I'm going to guess this is going to be one of everybody's favorite of the year. I mean, just looking around online, that seems like a lot of people talking about that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the pricing on it. I will dig it up. But yeah, I think this one is perfect if you're lucky enough to have like the Graveside Diner. This would go perfect in that same kind of strip town there. It's a nice little one-story building, kind of a Quickie Mart type size place. They have a matching accessory to go with it, which again has tentacles, which is an overriding theme with a lot of Spooky Town stuff. But I think it's a great piece. You can even mix this with some of the Part 56 pieces. They have a new diner coming out that would go along with this perfectly. I think it's a very, very cool little building. Love the color on it. Love the posters. Love the way they close it up. It's fantastic, I think.
This comment here too from Mandy Agogo. Yeah, Nightmare Video going next to Fright Night Theater, totally. And this is a Blockbuster Video. Like, this is clearly like a love letter to Blockbuster Video, right? Like, it has to be.
Mhm.
Like, which of course just like totally hits me in the feels. I love Blockbuster. Landon, was Blockbuster Video around when you were younger? I know you're a little bit younger than us.
No, it was there, but actually I remember going to Blockbuster sometimes from time to time when I was a kid.
I'm about to hurt some feelings there in a second.
I was waiting. I was actually setting up to be put down like that. I thought it was going to be.
And it's $77, by the way, for this one.
Oh, like, yeah. So
yeah,
I'm going to just guess with this one that this is going to be a good seller. I'd imagine it, whether you're you can order from Ryan. And we don't know, actually. Michael's, just as an FYI, Michael's they obviously do stock some of these, not all of them, but if you're going to plan to get something from Michael's, just know you're going to have to play the coupon game. I don't really want to spend a ton of time on that, just because I think talked about it in the past, really not sure what else to say about it. Michael sucks with the way that they do their coupons, and every year it seems to get worse. So just FYI, if you're really wanting a piece like this, I would totally support it. A dealer or order from Ryan. Just don't play the game that you're going to have to do with Michael's. I wouldn't be shocked if they had this one, though, because it also looks like it's a little bit smaller. Jay asked if there was an accessory for this. It's got a super cool accessory. Let me scan over to it real fast here. Kelly, were you going to add anything as I find the accessory for it here?
Oh, just that I love that we finally have a video store. That was such a huge part of Halloween for me, was going to the video store and, picking out the scariest video, by the cover art, just trying to, I remember vividly the cover art for the movie House. And it was like a hand that's like chopped off and like pointing at or ringing the doorbell. And I just remember I wanted to rent that one so bad, but I never did because I was too scared. I adore the creature on top. It actually has like the witch fingers that, you get in like party favor bags, like the green witch fingers. I just loved it. And I was so thrilled that it was not it is just a decoration. There's not like a whole body on the back. Like last year we had that like naked torso of the pumpkin creature on the back of our what was that piece? The corn maze.
Yeah. This is the box here real fast for it. We'll go back to the building, but this is such a cool accessory. The return box. Go back here. I had one thing on it here too. Landon, you can interject here as well if you have any thoughts. I'm looking forward to hear again.
So something very cool about this building, if you watch in the video where it says the electronics blow out, there's an interior scene. That part of the building actually flickers. Like, I don't know if it's like a UV light that's causing it to flicker, but it flickers inside. I think that's a really, really great touch.
Yeah, the lighting looks really cool on this. From when you watch the video of it, Christina says that her hubby says that sign's similar to Hollywood Videos. I actually agree. I remember the Hollywood Video was right by Blockbuster in my town. And I guess it kind of is like it mixes a little bit both of them. I guess I just think of Blockbuster no matter what with this. This is one of the ones I'm most excited for, I think. And knowing that pricing, that's pretty crazy. Or not crazy, but you know what I mean. It's got a good price on it too. So I think a lot of people are going to be into it. It's going to be like the theater was last year. Let's go here to Dorian Gray's Art Supplies. Landon, you want to start with this one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to add on this one. It's a bulb piece. Or last year they stopped doing like the regular incandescent bulbs, and now they're all LEDs, and you can swap them out with different colors. Mm-hmm. So that's what they're doing now with all their bulb pieces. This one, it's a porcelain piece. I know that there are more porcelain lighted buildings this year, which I'm sure will make a lot of other people happy. But I actually, when I was a little kid, I used to take art classes, and I have some of my old paintings stored away somewhere. So it's hits me in the feels that way. But yeah, it's a fine little piece.
It's also obviously a nod to the classic novel, the Picture Dorian Gray. Also, of course, just wanted to say that. that's where the name comes from.
I was thinking it was kind of highbrow for our hobby. I was like, oh, okay, well, I see you, Lemax.
Yeah, that's it's interesting. It is kind of I would almost like, this is more Department 56-ish, I guess. When you look at, you have the castle, right, which is just like this ludicrous in a good, and I mean that in a good, like, that's what Lemax, that's what they hang their hat on a lot of times. Department 56 is the quote unquote classy. You could also argue a little more boring in a lot of ways too. But it's cool they're doing this one. And again, the finish on this one and the porcelain, I think it should be pretty slick. Ryan, did you have price on this one?
Yeah, this one's $47.
Okay.
Which is typical for the porcelain pieces. And it's funny when I put these up online, I put them on the Facebook page. It's always a frenzy to get up as fast as possible once they're released publicly. And I actually loaded this one to the Christmas or Coddington Village originally, because it doesn't really give me the Halloween vibe. It's more of a Coddington Village kind of very fancy Victorian, well-designed, well-detailed piece. I was kind of surprised it was actually part of the Spooky Town line, but it'd be a beautiful building, really is.
It looks nice. Yeah. Let's go on here. Moving through here. Where is one moment here? Okay. We'll go to Spells Abound next. What, Ryan, on this one, do you have pricing for this guy?
Yeah, this one, actually I'm checking the wrong one. Come back to me.
Okay. Kelly, do you have any thoughts on this one?
Yeah. There's a lot of animation going on in this piece.
This goes with the witch shop.
Or is it a shop? I do like that we are, that it's specifically wizards and not witches. We don't have a lot of wizard pieces. There's like, mostly witch stuff. So I would still put it in, you could still put it in with a witch village. But I like the gag of the guy turning into a frog at the front. That's cute. But I am a little confused by it. I didn't listen to the soundtrack, and it probably would help me out.
Yeah, it's so I think it's interesting. There's like a wizard / mage, sorcerer, or whatever. But because of that, I don't totally know what goes with everything. I mean, I could see this going with the I don't know why I can't think of it. I have it on my shelf, which is right around the corner here. The Big Witch building from a couple of years ago.
The apothecary.
Yes. Yeah, I could see this going with it. I mean, it's a little over the top and kind of mashed together, theming stuff. Landon, were you going to add anything on this?
Sure. So this building's cool. Again, like you mentioned, wizard stuff, there's not a whole lot of that. Lemax, they've had a ton of witch stuff the last couple of years, but not wizards. Like you mentioned, actually, that's the first thing I thought of whenever I saw this piece was the apothecary that they did a few years ago. This would go really well with that. It would also just work in like a normal town theme, I think, but really cool. The lights and the animation on it. I think my favorite thing is the wizard who actually moves his arm up and down. I think that's a really great touch. You have a guy coming in and out of the doors, which, of course, I'm a sucker for that. So, it's a neat piece. It's not my vibe, but I can appreciate it for what it is.
A couple people here comments. Mark Tilley says, looks like a haunted house walkthrough building. I agree. It actually almost looks like a home haunt part of it. And Catherine here says has a fair festival vibe. Yeah. That's kind of the funny thing, that a lot of these buildings, if they're kind of themed crazy, you can always kind of just throw them in a carnival if it's like a town building, because then it's like a themed, I say carnival, probably more like an amusement park type of thing, but you kind of do that with all of them. Ryan, did you find pricing on this one?
Yeah, I got confused because there's the Spells Abound and Spellbounds, just to be confusing this year. This one's $130. And the only thing I'm concerned about is building, it has those poppers in the front that are kind of noisy, kind of contraptions.
Yep.
I wish they'd put just a simple little O-ring in there to quiet them down, so when they pop up, they have a little bit of cushioning.
I know when I'm shooting my videos for them every year, the poppers are the worst because they blow. They're always, they're loud. I know that not a lot of people videoing these necessarily, so it's kind of my unique problem with it. But even if you're going to display them, though, there's so much clicking and popping going on. It kind of, I know what you mean. It'd be nice to have them quieted down. Let's move on here. Crazy. We're already half an hour into this here. Landon, is there one you wanted to talk about here before we get into some accessories?
Let's do the Lagoon.
Yeah, okay. So it's funny because that one actually, I think it's down here, right? Because it's technically, yeah, here we go. Technically, it's like a table piece. There we go. All right. So what were you going to say about it?
So this might be my favorite of the year. I love any like craggy lagoon, I guess water feature kind of stuff. What really makes this piece stand out, and this is actually, I don't think Lemax has done one of these since the Haunted Fountain from a long, long time ago, but this building actually has a waterfall feature inside of the cave where it actually has running water rolling through it. The lighting looks really cool on it. This would go fantastic with the Skull Cave Quarry. In fact, that's what I'm going to, at some point, whenever I'm going to get more crafty with my displays. Someday I want to build a mountain, and at some point I want to do a mountain scene with both this and Skull Cave Quarry. I think that would look really sick. That said, I am disappointed with the size of this because I remember whenever I first saw it, I thought that this was going to be like Skull Cave Quarry size, but no, it's roughly like around the size of like one of the big table pieces, like maybe for those of you who have hillside mausoleums, kind of like that, to where it's not small necessarily, but it's not like a gigantic building. But this one I think would have been nice if it was bigger. But still, aside from that, I think it's a great piece.
Hillside Mausoleum's a good descriptor because it's like too big to really be kind of a table piece, but it's also not a building. Do you, Ryan, on this one? Is this one do you have pricing on?
Yeah, it's $87 for this one. And I do like the fact that it's not another fogger piece because the foggers have been kind of hit or miss with some of the people having problems with them, depending on their water that they have at their house. But I think bringing the fountains back is fantastic. They started with a couple of them last year, at least one last year. And then this is a new one for this year that's going to mix with a lot of the other cave themes they have, plus a pirate theme if you have one. It would go great with that. And the accessory piece that comes with that goes with this is fantastic as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with Landon. It'd be cool if it was a little bit bigger. But I do get what they're doing. And, for the price, it's kind of funny. It says how I guess that it's probably that fountain mechanism is a little more expensive because the price for this for an accessory piece that's I guess it's kind of high I guess for a non-building, but also it's not really fair to call this just an accessory piece. It is cool they're doing a fountain. I think that in talking about those foggers, whenever I do the videos on those, people always comment saying that they have issues with theirs, and I pull mine out of the box and I run it. So there's no trickery on my end. I've had a lucky run of it, but a friend of mine actually, shout out to Tyler if he's watching this. I don't know if he is or not, but he last year the fogging piece went through like 4 of them and was going insane because none of them would fog. And he's like, dude, I've used the distilled water and I've tried different stuff and it's every time. So it's just one of those things, I guess it's kind of tricky. You got to be careful too, when you put those pieces away. I really make sure they're dried out before I put them in a box. I don't like the idea of having a wet piece sitting in that foam that can't breathe very well. Kelly, sorry, you haven't chimed in on this one. Were you going to, on this one, what are your thoughts?
I instantly like it more knowing that it has a waterfall feature. I have to admit that I missed this one completely. I don't know how and I was kind of reviewing them before we came on. So I am not disappointed that it's smaller. I actually like that it's smaller. I really like this. I'm envisioning this in a theme park and with a cave built around it, down by, if you have any of the water themed rides. I think this is really it's just so over the top. It kind of lends itself to being like a decoration in a theme park.
Yep, I agree. And Jay Carr here says werewolf representation too, perfect for a woods area. Always big on werewolf pieces to have them in. They keep working them in more and more. The name this time, of course, even, but they're obviously heavy in that piece. It's pretty cool. Right here, let's get into a little accessory talk, and we can go back to some buildings if some folks want to here. But let's go with here the Inflatable Witch. Kelly, you can talk about this one.
I am so excited about this. This was like Lemax said, let's make something for Kelly. Let's just write a love letter to Kelly right now. This will be perfect for her village. I'm so excited to see yard decorations. They are supposed to be yard decorations. It's not a skeleton that someone, like a skeleton figurine that we're using as a yard decoration. This is very clearly an inflatable, which we've been asking for. Obviously, that would be really hard to make a small inflatable actually be an inflatable, but this, the only nitpicky thing I would have is that I want this to be lit somehow. I don't mind that it's not, because it is so great. I'm just so excited, but I basically want all of the yard decorations because they're all great. I'm so over the moon that they're making pieces that are for trick or treat houses. So I'm fingers crossed. That means there's a trick or treat house somewhere, and maybe a Michael's exclusive. That's my dream.
Yeah. So Ben just brings up lots of yard decor figures this year. Maybe we'll get a new trick or treat house at Michael's. I really don't know this stuff, but I this year for the Michael's exclusives, I'm going to guess we're going to see a trick or treat house because of that. There's just so many accessories for it. And I would guess we're going to get the carnival ride just because there's always one of those. But I'd be kind of shocked if we didn't get a trick or treat house, because I feel like they are listening now. And even Department 56 is really going heavy with the yard decor. Like they have their own, they have the big skeleton and stuff this year. Yes. And they're going, in on that. So I would think there'd be something to that. Maybe they do. Ryan, do you know the price on this? Do you have accessory pricing yet?
Yeah. The funny thing is that this one is $6, and the other inflatable, which is the Reaper, is only $3.50. I'm not sure why the price difference on that.
That's interesting. Let me find him here. He was. Where was he? Right here.
Right on the right hand side. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, almost identical size. It's kind of strange.
I want them both though.
Very cool pieces, both of them.
I love these. I hope they just keep doing these things. It's a hell of a lot cheaper too than getting the full size ones for your house. The craziness with all of those. Landon, what are your thoughts on the inflatable?
So, inflatables for me are very hit or miss. Actually, for Christmas, I shared this with y'all, but I got an inflatable snow globe. I love the inflatable snow globes when I was a kid, the ones that actually snowed. So they're nostalgic for me. They're not really my kind of decor, but I think it's great that we're finally getting some representation for it, because I know they've been asking for inflatable stuff for a while. Now, like you said, I don't know how they would make it actually inflate, like if they maybe put a fan inside of it. I think maybe we're not there yet, but I think this is a good compromise. I do agree it would have been nice if they were lit as well. If they were lit, they could also almost be like blow molds even. But yeah, I mean, really cool accessories, and you'll probably see me get them for my trick-or-treat houses.
They're cheap, so I mean, to me, it's also an easy, like, Department 56, these would be like $30 a piece. I feel like if there was one of those, which, I mean, they're good though. The Department 56 ones like that, I'm assuming like their big 12-foot skeleton or whatever they have this year is probably going to look incredible in person on that one. Ryan, is there something you wanted to hit here? A piece we've not.
Yeah, on the accessories, the levitating skeleton is one of my favorite accessories this year.
Let's see if I passed.
Yeah, it's kind of using the same trick that Department 56 started using.
Oh, let's find it here. Here we go.
Right there. Yep. So it's kind of like one of the skeleton poppers that you have for Halloween at your house, where you kind of rise up out of the ground. Usually the arms go out. And they're using the same trick that the Department 56 uses with a really thin piece of, plastic tubing there to hold it up in the air. So when you have it in your display, it'll kind of like black out in the darkness. It'll look really cool.
It definitely looks like it's hanging on like a shepherd's hook in your yard.
Yeah.
Like it looks like a yard decoration. That's neat. I like this too. I missed it completely too.
Well, I'm sorry. Do you have? Is this one like around $6?
This one's $6, I think. Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. You can load up here real fast. A couple people here. We have Christy said the roller coaster from Michael's not in the main line, which actually, and Ben corrects here that the roller coaster wasn't exclusive. It came out in the main line. I haven't paid attention to that. Do you know, is it available this year again?
It probably is in a list somewhere. I only printed out the exclusives from last year, so I wouldn't have it listed with this price.
Gotcha. We'll have more info on that. Yeah. I actually didn't pay attention on that. That'd be kind of odd for them to just do one and done, especially a piece like that. But it wasn't. It was a non-exclusive, if I remember right. any more some of the pieces you guys want to do some accessories. There are a lot of them this year.
So they have lighted trees, which are very similar to kind of the Department 56 Twinkle Brights, which I think are really cool.
Yep. We'll I'll just leave it right here. They look very Twinkle Brightish. And those Twinkle Brights, some people love them, some people hate them. I love them. To me, I've got a bunch of Department 56 Twinkle Brights in orange and purple. And if you don't know what those are, they're like fiber optic, almost like wires that are posable wires with like a tree skeleton. And it just looks crazy how bright they are and all the blinking. So I always put those in spots where there's not a bunch of other lighting, because it adds like animation and lighting to a spot in a village that you wouldn't see it otherwise, which I think those are pretty cool. Do you know what those cost a piece, Ryan?
So the trees, they all go from anywhere from like $8 for the smaller ones up to, the Sinister Tree set, which is a three-piece set, is $25.
Gotcha. Okay. So
they've got one of the lit ones. It's a plain tree.
Go here. This is one that I really like, this giant spider. That is like extremely like at Target and stuff. You see a lot of those now. The spiders are really popular. It's kind of crazy this year how heavy the yard decor has gone. It's like finally the companies have realized everybody's spending all the money on the real one. So you can make your trick or treat, you can make your trick or treat area look cool. A lot of trick or treaters too this year, it looks like.
Yeah.
And we have a line. We have a line like specifically for a like kids waiting in line. They're not trick or treaters technically. They are just waiting in line for like a ride. And I saw that. I was like, that's exactly what I need, because I one of my themes is the theme park, and I don't have kids waiting in line because they all have trick or treat bags. So I was very excited to see that.
A couple people here also are asking about the spider building. Let's talk about that really quick. Oops, sorry. There we go. It is up here. I actually did want to mention that. We should talk about the facade too. We haven't talked about the facade. Here we go. So the Spider Diner, anything spider themed, I like. I think that it's weirdly, spiders are like an underrepresented like theme. I feel like there's a million skeletons, and skulls, but I don't know why there are not more spiders. Like there's few things that are outside of like maybe black cats, or I guess skeletons or witches, but like spiders are, a big thing. And I like the character that's outside here. That was something that was cute, that goofy looking spider, like, kind of has like big fly eyes on him. It's pretty silly. I'd assume, is this one, Ryan, what, around $30 probably?
Actually, this one's $65.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure if it is just a bold lit building, correct? Yeah.
No, it's got lights on it.
Yeah, it's got a video.
LED? Okay. Yeah.
I was thinking, yeah. So the size on this one, though, it is, well, I guess it's about 9 inches tall. Let's see Adrian here real quick. Adrian says, I would love to have the Spider Chef as an accessory. The building isn't my theme. Yeah. I don't personally, I don't really have like a town area. I don't really do that. So I wouldn't really have much for the building, but I guess I don't know that I would want a Spider Chef in my yard either. I don't know if that would go with anything, but it's pretty cool. It'd be nice if it had it separately. I can tell you if I did have a town though area, like this would be in it. I think it's cute. It almost looks like a little diner also decorated. You could see them kind of going over the top and decorating to where it doesn't look like just this is a monster building. I mean, what do you think on that, Kelly? Normally you're kind of the arbiter, or you're kind of the judge on that stuff.
No, I actually did think that. It's funny you said a fly, because when I first saw this, I was like 1958, The Fly, like the movie. That's what that little guy looks like. But no, I really did think it looks like just a over the top decorated diner. It could even be, I know I always go to this, but I really do see it in a theme park. Like if you have the spider, oh my gosh, Ferris wheel, I couldn't think of the word. It could be, a spider area of your theme park, and this could be like an eatery in that area. So I totally see that.
Yep. Any other thoughts on that really quick before we go on to the couple other things here? We need to talk facade, I guess. Let's go to that, because we're getting, it's crazy how fast this time goes here. where is the facade here, which is kind of crazy. This is not a Michaels exclusive this year. First one, I think it's, yeah, here we go. Landon, let's start with you on here. What are your thoughts on the spooky days ahead?
Yeah, so I mean, I love the facades. I think that they're great. I particularly love the last two that they've done, the Haunted Estates and the Haunted Pumpkin Patch, because those are two of my favorite themes. You know, the kind of the trick or treater and the Haunted Pumpkin Patch. I think those two are great. This one, it's that fortune teller, psychic type of theme. So this would go well with some of the other pieces they've done, because they've had several of these types of buildings with the psychics and the fortune telling the last couple of years. So this would go nicely with it. It's not my vibe necessarily, but still, I think it's pretty cool. And I agree. I think it's interesting that this is not in the main line. So I guess it's not a Michaels exclusive. So I guess maybe it won't be a Michaels exclusive this year. We won't be getting a facade.
And Ben actually brings it up. There might be two facades. I doubt they would do two facades. I mean, I guess I don't really know, but I'm just going to guess this is the facade for this year. Do you know, Ryan, on this one pricing?
Yeah, this one's $80. Which I think it's a little cheaper than, I think they're usually about $90 for the facade. So it's about the same price, a little cheaper than normal.
So real fast, my thoughts on this one. I actually like this one. It's not totally my theme, but I'll want this for my facades because I'm collecting them all. I like how it's a little, this looks different. The other ones are like hardcore themed for like this neighborhood. You have the pumpkin patch, like they're a little more over the top. This one is not as crazy and it looks simpler. And I understand the vibe they're going for. I think it's pretty cool. I do feel like eventually when you get a bunch of these together, this will look good in that. Although it's going to be funny, the more facades they add, there's a bunch of moons on them. You're going to have your town's going to have like, it's going to have all these moons behind them. But I think this one is probably going to be really cool in person. I've got a feeling that people are going to, I don't know. I have a few people have said here they've seen some negative comments on it. I've seen them too, but I think this one's a pretty well done. It might not be everyone's type of theme, but I think it's it's a little more eloquent maybe than some of the other ones. That's my thoughts on it. Anybody else wanted to add that before we kind of jump over to a couple other things here as we get near the end? Let's really quick here. Want to talk about something that's non-Spooky Town, but we have these gift sets here. And, I don't totally know what's up with these. I know Ryan, we're talking a little bit off air. He's not totally sure, right? Like on how these are going to go, like, boxes. What's the deal exactly with them? Do you have any more info, Ryan?
Yeah, so there's no pricing on these yet. It's one of the things they haven't priced out yet. It's kind of surprising to me. Only one of them, I believe it's the one that comes with the House of Shadows, that has a contents list online. The rest of them don't. So just on that one, it doesn't include a platform. So I'm going to guess that all you're going to get is the house, the accessories, the trees, and the power supply for it. You're not going to get the platforms underneath it, probably to keep the boxing a little bit more small. I think you probably remember the gift sets they had years ago where they came in these massive, massive boxes, and it was kind of hard to ship them and stock them on shelves. So this would be a more compact package.
It's a good idea that they're doing this. I think that's especially for newbies. You can just kind of have a turnkey display right there. Real fast. This is something interesting because I've kind of wondered this myself. Heather Cantrell, and also puts up Heather. She says maybe Lemax is listening to us complain about Michael's pricing and not releasing as many with them this year. I guess we don't know yet until we see what Michael's has, but it is kind of shocking that some of these seem like they're kind of headliner buildings that you would see at Michael's. So I don't know. It'll be interesting if they do less of those. But I'm not really sure, how that's going to work, I guess. But that does sort of, I've kind of maybe got that a little. Maybe that's part of the vibe for it here. Before we do into the wrap up here, I wanted to bring this up, and I know Ryan has been wanting to talk about this too. So this is not Spooky Town, but Lemax has gone crazy with the carnival rides this year. A ton of them. Do you know, Ryan, on the website here? Just kind of going on the fly here on the Lemax side. Sorry, are these mainly Christmas in the lines, like the?
Actually, the Christmas ones are listed with the carnival theme.
Okay, so we'll just go to carnival here.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. The Fireball is awesome. That ride is cool. Like all of these are super cool. And I know the Duck Hunt ride is a re-release or reimagining, whatever you want to call it. You can take it away here, Ryan. Talk about a few of these things here.
Yeah, so there's obviously the Carnival rides are always the expensive pieces for the year, and the Fireball Frenzy is the top of the line right now. It's $160 for that one, but it is an amazing ride. And same as the Topsy Turvy, that one is $130. And that one, it kind of looks like it rides in the same platform as the old Ghost Round, which if you have some that broke on you, you probably don't like it that much, but hopefully they fix some of the issues with the limit switches in that. But it's a very cool theme, and the Duck Hunt was a really big surprise for me. I'm kind of hoping that this is only the first re-release they've done, and maybe down the road they'll kind of redo some other ones. Because I looked at them side by side, there is quite a bit of difference between that and the original one. It's the lighting is a little bit different, more modern, obviously. The motion is actually much better in this one than the original. And it doesn't have flags on top, which anytime you try to buy a Duck Hunt, one of the original ones, you will not find one without the flags all snapped off on top. So it's kind of nice they did just a flat top on this one. But overall, I mean, and then with the Carnival booths, it's a fantastic lineup for Carnival folks.
The Runaway Sleigh is really cool. That reminds me of a ride. I forget what they're called. I think Zamperla makes them in real life. But it's a kind of spinny ride. There's one at our local, like Six Flags, like a tugboat, like a Yosemite Sam tugboat or something. But those rides in real life are cool. But the Fireball Frenzy looks awesome. Like if that was Spooky Town, I mean, I'd be totally with that. But Lemax has really gone all out, with the Carnival stuff this year. It's been a lot of fun. Someone had brought up here, Disco Liz, what's up? I do hope the Alien Hangar gets some accessories at Michael's. Yeah, if Michael's is going to carry the Alien shop and it's not an exclusive, you could see that there. We don't know yet. You know how that goes. I guess anything else before we kind of do a wrap up and some opinions here? Anybody else or anything that they wanted to see really quick? Or you guys want to start getting to our general opinions of the line?
I think the Carnival rides are really cool, but I'd be a bit worried about the mechanical longevity of some of them, especially that Topsy Turvy. I feel like that one would break pretty quick.
Sure. I mean, that's kind of, Topsy Turvy, again, Ghost Round. If you guys are newer to the hobby, the Ghost Round from I forget when that was now, late 2010s, I think.
2017 was the first time it was released. I only remember because it was one of the rides I went to get.
Oh, that's right.
I had my son and I went to get
that's
the
right.
hospital.
Yep. That's I remember actually seeing that in the groups when you were talking about that. Yeah. If anyone questions your how hardcore you are, I feel like you can
right.
You kind of pull rank on a lot of people. The mechanics can be goofy on it. I guess with that here, let's do some wrap ups, just some general opinions. We'll go Landon, Kelly, then Ryan, and especially Ryan, you kind of have the retailer's point of view, and then I can kind of wrap this up here too, as we're getting near the top of the hour. So what do you think here? Take it away.
So all in all, I think a solid year. It didn't have as much for me personally as say maybe some other years, but you do have some standout pieces. Like I like the castle, I like the Lagoon, the blockbuster piece is fun. So there are some standout pieces here. It's just not a lot for me personally. And I would like to see Lemax maybe return to do some more classic style, I guess maybe back to basic style Spooky Town with maybe some more haunted houses or just traditional, I guess, spooky stuff, kind of like what they used to do in the old days. But still, I think it's a solid year, and I still think it's a lot better than, say, the mid-2010s where they had, in my opinion, they had a bunch of duds. But that's my opinion.
Kelly, what are your thoughts on the year? At least what you can see here.
Yeah, I have to echo Landon completely. There are some high notes here. The medieval castle's great. The air and space, I'm terrible at names, but the alien piece, and the blockbuster movie. I'm terrible at this. I'm so sorry. Those are great. But for me, I'm also trying to semi-retire. Like I'm going to get accessories. Like I'm gonna get all the accessories, let's not lie, but it's been a huge year for me for that. But as far as building goes, I'm holding out hope that there is a new trick or treat house. But if not, that is okay. That's okay. But there are some great things in here. But to echo Landon, not necessarily for what I'm collecting.
Yeah, Ryan, what do you think? You kind of have the different perspective than us to the retailer.
Yes, it's a solid year, and I was happy to see the pricing seems to kind of flatline from a couple of years ago when everything was kind of spiking a little bit. The pricing seems really good this year, in my opinion. I also like that, there's a lot of porcelain buildings, and I want to emphasize to everyone watching this, we say it every year in every video, make sure you get your voice out there in the Facebook groups, tell people what you want, because Lemax does read these things. And it's very obvious when you look at the lineup changes they've had over the years that they are listening and trying. There's going to be a delay. It's going to be probably 2 years from when they pick up an idea to when it hits the shelves.
Yeah, it's about a 2-year delay, and it always feels like it's been that way from when they can kind of react.
And that's just manufacturing. That's how it works. You have to have an artist design it, have to make it molds of it, get it produced. So if you keep on voicing your opinion out there and let them know what you want, it's going to show up eventually. And I think they're doing a really good job with kind of organizing everything. The new lighting is fantastic. The way they use the moon landers with the extenders and whatnot. I think they're really trying to make it more convenient for people to get into this hobby, which is always good for the buyer.
Yeah, and it's like a cruise ship or a big ship in a lot of ways. They turn around really slow, like when you course correct. So it normally, from what I understand, is about a 2-year cycle because of the conceptual stuff and then the production stuff and then rolling it out. So, but I know that they do listen. Again, Lemax is a relatively small-ish company, and they have people throughout the groups. And generally, there are better ways to have feedback probably than others, but I know that they do seem to listen on it. And again, like Catherine says here, we said trees, porcelain, and adapters. They delivered on it, and they have, or at least I think they have. For me, just a real fast. I know we haven't talked about all these buildings. Try and keep this at about an hour. On Patreon this year, I've started, but over the next month or two, I'm doing a write-up on every single piece that's new and my opinions on it. So just a plug there if you're curious about what I would think about something. But in general, I can tell you that my thoughts on this, I guess, are kind of like Landon and Kelly. There's a couple buildings that do grab me, like I've got to have the castle. And I think the accessories are really cool. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't go with my normal theming. It seems like this year we're in a more a crazier a little bit year as far as the big buildings go with the theming. It would kind of be nice, I think, if they maybe next year, if it does go to a little more traditional. But I would also say we haven't seen the Michaels buildings, so like there might be a cool haunted house there or a trick or treat house, or I don't know what kind of carnival ride that they have that they would have this year. So real fast here, I wanted to South of Sanity. Ryan, you know this too. Does the Carnival collection release before the Halloween collection? I wanted to make sure his question got answered there.
Yeah, everything hits at once. So everything's available to order now. And if I put the order in now, it'll be here in June.
It's typically that's when everything hits, barring crazy, if some shipping, some port nonsense happens or whatever else, it's typically when you're going to see these. I know Landon and I, I guess I've not talked to Lemax this year. Hopefully Landon and I will probably be reviewing some of these at the beginning of the season as normal. That's hopefully when it happens there. When you said, I think it was Landon, you said that, the middle of the 2010s, this year's a lot better than that. I totally agree. I think that was kind of the dark ages of Lemax for me, which is weird. That's when I got into the hobby, but I've looked at this year in the last few years, and I don't really look at one and think, oh man, even if like this year might not personally excite me, I guess, about like what I personally like to collect as much as others, but I still think it's a pretty good year. It's not like a few years ago when it's like, man, if there was one good building, I felt like that was a good thing. And they're like, accessory wise, they've killed it. I just want to be clear. I'm talking about kind of the main buildings. There's a ton of accessories I want to buy. The tree that's in here is awesome. Also, there's a whole bunch of cool stuff that they've got this year, and with the trick or treating stuff and all the the trees are great because the Department 56 ones are they're pricey. The Twinkle Brights are pricey. Yeah, I guess that's kind of all I have to say. Anybody else in closing? We can go around here before Landon. I guess you want to, give your last plugs or what else, the bottom line or whatever you have to say.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm kind of in the off season, so I won't be posting a lot this spring. But like Doug, I will be getting a few of these early, maybe including some of the Michaels exclusives. I don't know. We haven't gotten the information on that yet, but look forward to seeing that. I think these buildings, even if they're not for my theme necessarily, I think they'll still at least make for fun videos. So
Totally. I know that.
Yeah.
A couple of them will. Kelly, I guess wrap up anything for you.
Oh, just my normal follow everyone in the panel. Bye from Ryan, and have a happy new year.
She plugs us. That's her plug as she plugs us. Your Instagram, I'll have to share some stuff from your Instagram, because you're always posting your village stuff.
Yeah, I go dark. So this is like where I post. I mean, there's a lot of dog pictures right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love my dog, so he's on there a lot. So
Ryan, anything I guess last from you here?
No, just listen to Kelly. Bye from me. You can hit me up on Facebook, and I'll get your pre-order in for you. And again, this stuff will all be rolling in June. I do want to answer Dave real quick. I have not seen new Moonlander colors this year, so stuck with the ones we have, unfortunately. Hopefully, we'll come out with orange eventually. But yeah, other than that, thanks for watching, everybody.
Ryan does a great job also with support. He helps stuff with the show here too when I've got all the questions and tries to get it out. So Ryan is he's great for the with the community. And so I always say, if you want to support, if you like the Spooky Villages channel, support Ryan. He just helps me out with info and other stuff. It's it's a lot of stuff and that he helps with. And also there's a lot of cool stuff. All the stuff we talked about here this year is the main line. So if you don't want to deal with Michaels and you don't want to deal with the nonsense, you can let Ryan deal with the nonsense. It's just order from Ryan. It's much easier that way. So hopefully Michaels is cool on it this year. I might do a video, or actually I will do a video later this year when we figure figure out all that stuff up. Real fast for me again, thank you all for watching. I'm sorry if I didn't get to all your comments. I really do appreciate it though. This is crazy how fast this hour goes. I'm going to be live next Sunday night, same time, 8 Eastern, with Halloween Villages by Carl. We're going to talk about the Department 56 lineup. We're going to do that. And then on Patreon, I am going through the next month or two, doing write-ups every few days, going through all of the buildings, trying to give some pretty candid opinions too. And I'm going back and forth between Lemax and Department 56. So if you're interested in that, check that out. I think that's all the plugging that I've got. Crazy how fast this hour goes. Thank you all so much for watching. Appreciate the support as always. Thanks to the Village Idiots. Appreciate you guys coming on, spending some time with everybody here, and hopefully it's a great year, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.